What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CarMan's channel. Today we are going to be talking about something really cool that I'm totally digging on. I actually got this request, I guess, yesterday or somewhere in there. But anyway, he basically wanted to talk about taking junk cars and turning them into high profits. So, you know what? It's done every day. It's done every day all over the world, and it is an excellent idea, and there's nothing wrong with it. So before we get all into making money with junk cars, let me just get into this. Tell you thank you if you're just now tuning in from wherever you're tuning in from. We try to broadcast at least 5 times a week at 8 o'clock. Subscribe if you get a chance to. We appreciate it. And we got a killer Amazon store on our homepage. You can click the icon or find it in the description. Meanwhile, so yeah, man, I'm all about this. So I got this request to, he basically says, hey, can you get into... If I have a junk car, I think this is the concept. Hey, what if I got a car, I'm hurt in it, you know, it's a junker. Let's just assume it through a rod. What's up, Windy City? Let's just assume it through a rod. We got a knocking engine, but decent car. I mean, let's just take a car that's semi-desirable. And today, just for argument's sake, I'm going to take a, somebody throw a car out. Let's just go with a 2010 Malibu-ish GM car, something like that. All right, so hey, what's up, everybody? I got a few people on here already. Okay, we got Windy City, Chicago. What's up in the Windy City? Auto Buff, my man, New York. I'm sure Big Cliffy's gonna be sliding in here somewhere. All right, guys. So let's talk about this. I love cars that are broke down, and I love extorting them for every dollar that can be milked out of those hunks of shit. I didn't say the word completely. Yeah, so let's take a Volkswagen. Let's take a Volkswagen. Everybody, let's take a Volkswagen. We're going to go with a 1998 Bug. No, we're going to go with a 2008 Bug or Jetta. It doesn't matter. All right, so we buy the car. It's got 150,000 miles. Nah, let's make it worse than that. We bought a 2008 Bug. 200,000 miles on 250,000 miles on it. You stole it. It was running great. Got it for $500. Boom. Starts knocking. Next morning you go start it out. The guy's put some shit in it and it's quieting it down. And now you're hung out to dry. You can't get your $500 or $800 back. I'm gonna throw you in at $800. You wasted $800 on this hunk of crap, and you're like, dang it, I'm done. Not necessarily. If you've got a place that you can actually disassemble this vehicle into parts, you have a small gold mine. I talked to a guy one day, and this boy was worth some money, but I knew him before he was worth anything. I mean financially. And he used to, when we were kids growing up, he used to always be like, hey man, I'm going to own a junkyard one day. And I was like, you're stupid, man. Who would want to own a junkyard? He's like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it. So he damn sure did, man. He started out with a couple cars, renting them a little place. I'm not advocating starting a junkyard. I'm just telling you how the story went. And I want to tell you right now, guys, if this boy he probably has, I don't know, 2,500, 3,500. I don't know. It's a ridiculous amount of cars on this lot, on his junkyard. He is crushing them daily. And he has them coming in by the truckloads daily. He's just buying them. It's crazy. He just has he's a multi-millionaire now. So he made a statement to me one time that I never forgot. He said, man, do you know how you get $200,000 for a $10,000 car? I was like, nah, man. Come on, you're stupid. How are you going to get $200,000 out of a $10,000 car, man? He's like, you buy it one part at a time. And damn, that stuck with me. You know, my whole life, that's always stuck with me, that you would spend $200,000 buying a car one piece at a time that's worth 10 grand. Yeah, so car parts and Copart, all these places is good, but wherever you get them, that's fine. So let me tell you what these things are actually worth, just to kind of give you a perspective, because we kind of as car people, we get lost in the idea of, hey, man, we've got to buy this car, flip it, go, 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 take a lot, it's a piece of shit, move on, and we never get our hands dirty. But earlier in my teachings, I've told you guys that if you had a little shop on the side, you need these other income streams. This is an excellent one. And let me tell you why. Everything in that car is worth money. Just because the engine doesn't run, that's immaterial. Um, there's so many things that cost so much money. Like on the Volkswagens, let's just go ahead and throw out the turbo on it, the head on it. Then you've got like if it's a complete car, some of the simple things like right off the bat. I mean, your two headlights and taillights will bring you 100, $200 right by themselves. You got the third brake light. These are all parts that break that everybody are looking for. You can eBay them bad boys, cheap to ship off. Volkswagen's also got the little computer that runs the fans. That dang thing is expensive as all get out. I mean, that's another 50, $60. The everything on this car is money. Like the door panels themselves, the window regulators, the window buttons, the odometer cluster, everything to do with the AC from the everything from the control panel when you're first looking at it, the condenser up front, the compressor. All these things are a big deal. And they're all liquid cash. And usually, all you got to do is just if you've got the time and you're stuck anyway, especially I always encourage somebody to do this at least once or twice in their lifetime, especially as they're starting out. Have a junker that you have to personally take apart and sell part by part. That will make you the best car man on the planet. Because what's going to happen is, you could use them as unrentable as parts cars for sure. And what happens is you're going to get a newfound perspective. So when you're looking at a car, you're going to be like, dang, well, it's got the headlights, the taillights in it. It's got all the window regulators, buttons. That's 200 for the lights. I can get another 150 for the regulators. It's got the cluster in it. That's $25. You got the airbag system, and that's another $300 or $400. And then you got if you got like a power seat, you got more money there. And then any other extras that's inside that car, the factory stereos in there, anything, the control switch on the steering wheel that controls the four-way switch. What's up, Mr. Genright? All these things are just big money. And what can happen is you can start getting one hell of a little following just on your little part-time disassembling cars, because the further you go, the more money you just keep digging in. So let's just pretend, I'm not saying even pull the engine, but let's just say you did. Let's say you just had a dead block in it, but it's got a good tranny. That tranny will bring you 300 or 400. The power steering, the power steering rack, you got that. You've got all the front end stuff going on there. I mean, you can sell UCV axles with no problem. Even if you got clean wheel bearings, somebody will give you 20, $30. They're coming off anyway. All you got to do is post them. Oh, he's at the auction right now. That's awesome. Yeah, Porsche headlights are $1,500. So you got this headlight. You got this Porsche that just blew a rod, man. A Porsche is worth a fortune in parts. I've had several of them through the years, and it is expensive. Only car it's worse than a Porsche as far as, there's a few of them. But I don't know if you ever get balls out and want to go jump into the Ferrari game, but that is a nightmare. It just ain't worth it to me. But anyway, yeah, so parts to me is a very doable, successful thing. Like, I think you could do that. And there's so many things that are worth money just as junk, like the catalytic converter, if you just cut it and take it down to the junk places. I don't know exactly what they give you, but it's pretty pricey. But you've got like the used radiators, which will bring you pretty good money. Then the condensers bring good money. All the accessories, alternator, AC, power steering, all those things stack up. And then you've got other things too that bring a lot of money, like the fuse panel. Just the fuse panel where it's at. And like Nissans have that control panel underneath the fuse panel. I mean, those things are expensive. You got the car computer, the windshield wiper motors. It never ends. Then you got the body panels. You got, if you still got straight fenders and straight doors and hood, and then you got the bumper covers front and back. But then you get into the core support, the horn. It just doesn't end. And this will give you some excellent experience on just trying to learn how cars work, especially if you're just buying them, but you don't really understand the mechanics completely. You will get a whole new perspective on cars and car buying. It'll make you a better car buyer. But I got to tell you, man, there is nothing wrong with car parts. you will make more money in car parts than you will ever make in flipping cars if you were able to get in that train and ride it. Car parts are ridiculous. You don't got to sell anybody on why they need your parts. All you got to do is price it $1 less than the next guy, and basically you have an unlimited supply. If you could go and if you had 2 or 3, you could run an ad tomorrow, no matter what town you're in, and say, I buy junk cars and pay $300, everybody else pays $150, and then go out there and still offer them $200, be like, yeah, this is kind of not what I was thinking, get them down to $200, whatever. You would have an endless supply. It's like a photocopy machine printing cash. It's that simple. You'd be busy for a little bit, but once you got that pipeline going, it is ridiculous. I mean, you can make some money. And I don't mean a little bit. I mean a lot. Like, especially with the power of eBay. And of course, the newer, later model that you get, the more expensive the shit gets. Like, it just goes and goes. Like, if you get into the 2010s with blown engines, which you can buy for nothing, those car parts are worth a fortune. And that's what all the late model salvage yards are out chasing up at the auctions. You're talking about Copart. That's who buys those cars. I mean, you got a couple guys out there that are independent that are like, hey, let me jump on this. I'm going to fix it up and flip it. But a lot of people that are out there buying the Coparts are the people that are in the salvage business, because they look at a late model SUV and they're like, all right, each one of these doors are $600 to $800 a piece. The hoods are $500. So they know that a car with flood damage is still worth $4 to $5 grand to them in parts, even if they got to wait. Okay, Sean just got back from Man. Where are you buying at, Sean? Or what part of the country are you in? Yeah, I'm up late tonight. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Well, I guess not really. If he's over there in Central Time or West Coast, depends on where he's at. Of course, they do have late sales. Orlando. Oh, I used to like Orlando, man. Orlando, that's a pretty good size auction. I've been to Orange County auction, all those up through Tampa. Those are some good sales down there. You can make some good money. It's like anywhere, but Manheim's is just Manheim's. All right, but yeah, so back to the subject. Please do it. I say, yeah, hell with it. I mean, if you've already lost the money and you can't flip it and retail it, and you have some place to disassemble this thing and turn it into money, you're going to make a ton of money. A ton of money. All the parts, they're just like free money. People are throwing money at you. It's great. That's just my take on it, guys. Now, if you're not mechanically inclined, take the hit and move on. That's what I would say. But if you got a guy that you can pay a little bit, or you can be like, hey, man, you disassemble this car, I'm going to take care of the selling the parts. Of course you will, because you're going to put it on the computer. You're going to advertise it, and you give him a piece of the pie. You can get kids taking them things, taking them on par, bringing you your parts to you, and you can sell them. If you're doing it on eBay, you can sell the parts before you ever disassemble it. So it's just a win-win-win-win deal. But the only real drawback to this is you get stuck with a place to park the cars. I've never been to Tri-State Auto in New York. Finally, with help from AutoBuff. Hi, Jamie. Who's Pooh Bear? My little Pooh Bear. Who's Sal Crossman? Finally, with help from AutoBuff. Jamie and Jen, my little Pooh Bear. I'm not sure what that means. I'm a lot of things, but little Pooh Bear probably isn't one. I like that. I think I'll be the Pooh Bear from now on. Anyway, so what's up, guys? What's happening in the automobile world today? Anybody get shit on a car today, make a bad deal? It happens. Meanwhile, I'm out rocking and rolling with a little Lincoln today. Having fun with that. Stole one. That was my fun car today. And Jen's like, I'm not sitting in that car. Why? It's a town car. We love town cars. I love town cars. Do y'all like town cars? I love Lincolns. I love Cadillacs. The bigger, the better. The more gas it sucks. Yes, I'm a car dude. The problem is she's right. She's like, ain't nobody gonna want it. I hate when they do that. All right, guys. So that's my take on salvage parts. There isn't a lot to it other than kind of getting a feel for what the parts are, and then you gotta have a place to do it. And if you don't feel like doing it yourself, if you've got a little guy that can help you get it done, that's a great. I mean, it's not bad. And what you might find out this could be a second layer of income for you. You could continuously, if you've got a place that you can house, I'm just throwing this out there. If you could house 5 or 10 parts cars, like I don't take the time to do this, but I always, because I'm telling you, man, one of my friends is a multi-millionaire because of this. If you took the time to turn around and just, you only had 5 or 10 cars, you'd be making so much money a month, it would be ridiculous just off the parts alone. You'd have one guy that was just, you'd have him wearing him out just taking all the parts off that you're selling. I mean, man, you got everything from fuel pumps to tail lights, everything on the car, like you immediately got. And not only do you have it, you can sell it a gazillion times cheaper. Just think about just a plain head. Most of a head on a car is going to be $200 or $300, period. And if it's a late model, it could be $500 or $600, and you might be cheaper than everybody else. And then think about some of the electronic stuff, like if you get into the sensors, like the IACs, those things can run $200 and $300. The throttle body, all that stuff is just so important. The intake, I mean, these things are just money. I mean, it is just cash sitting in a barrel waiting for you, my friend, to come in, jump in, and swim around in this lake full of money. Like, this is you. Everybody listen to me right now. You need to do this. This would be fun. I'm not allowed to do it so much anymore because Jen's a, let's just say, she doesn't really think it's okay for me to be out doing all this crazy stuff anymore just because I had a couple strokes, which I think is just ridiculous. But maybe she has a point. But if it didn't happen, I'm telling you what, man, I'd be right there with you. I'd be out there turning wrenches and getting it done. I do fix a lot of my own stuff anyway, but that's kind of for illustration purposes. But yeah, I'm down with you guys, man. I am with you. I am with you. Come take a car apart, man, and make you some money. All right, guys, so this is going to be kind of a short video tonight because there's not really a whole lot to elaborate on this subject. Now, there is some things that I would kind of be leery, like you got to find out a few small details before you disassemble a car. One is, what are you going to do with the car when you take it all the way down to the frame? Not that you would take it down the frame, but if, you know, when you're like, I'm tired of playing with this. You stole everything off of it and you've milked it for all it's worth. Now you just have a lump of steel sitting there. You got to have a guy willing to pick up a car. Assuming that you're going to leave wheels and tires on it, maybe you're not. Whoever or whatever you are or aren't going to do, you need to have an exit strategy to get rid of the cars. And don't expect a lot. You might get 50 or 75 bucks. Hell, if you made enough money on the car, you might just advertise it as free if somebody would just come haul it off, right? And some scrap metal guy would come haul it off for you somehow or another. So you got to have an exit strategy. As far as the titling goes, I think I would just say that I don't think I would do anything with that title other than when it went to the salvage yard and just give it to the junk man and just be like, done. And you can write off the entire amount of the car. Like, especially, it's one thing I do like about when I do actually take a hit on a car is I do get a little bit of a tax write-off. So that is kind of cool. You can write it off and then still make money on the back end because it's all cash. Like, no one can track used car parts. I mean, come the hell on. Ain't like you have a store that you actually sell it out of, so it's awesome. We know free money is the best money. Right, kids? We already know that. What else is it? I can't think of any other real drawbacks on this other than it does take some time. It will take some energy, and you will have to do some fumbling around. Like, you'll have to do a little, like, let's just say you pull the airbag system out of a, whatever, that Volkswagen. You're going to have to go on eBay before you do it and see how they sell it and what parts are in there. And you get a little bit of due diligence. And then let's just say they're selling it for $300 or $400. I mean, if you want to sell yours pretty fast, you know, just come about 10-15% underneath it, couple, but whatever, you know, whatever. And I would just start there. I mean, you know, and then, you know, pick your next part. You know, be like, okay, I have window regulators, or, you know, put the window regulators up, you know, whatever. Just kind of do it specifically. I think on eBay, it's been a while since I've played on there. The wife's on there all the time, but I think on eBay, all you got to do is relist. I think you can just hit a button and re-up. You know, if you have something that for sale that's not for sale, I mean, or didn't sell, I think you can re-up it pretty quick. And you may be able to keep used car parts in like a little store or something on eBay. I'm not sure 100%. But it'd be worth some time. I mean, you got to think on one car, like my boy said. You know, you want $200,000 for a $10,000 car, you just sell it one piece at a time. So I mean, hey, what if you could get 20 grand for a $500 car? I think we all on board for that. Um, Hell, I think if we can get 5 grand for a $500 car, or 3 grand, 3,500, I think we would all settle out of court for a little bit higher amount without the struggle. I don't think we were going to find anybody over that kind of profit. But yeah, so that's how I'm kind of feeling about this. All right, Windy City said, okay, I'm rolling down here right here, see what you guys got now. Okay, all right. Oh, your grandson is Pooh Bear. Yes, he is. By the way, man, I gotta tell you what my kid said today. You ready for this? So we're getting ready for a ride somewhere, and he's like, it was his grandmother, actually, or his. I raised him as my son. He's actually my grandson, but I raised him as my son. But it would be technically his great grandmother, but she's still relatively young, so we call him his grandmother. So she's like, yeah, we're gonna ride out to we're gonna go do some antique stuff or whatever. He's like, good. Are we burning your gas? I was like, that's my boy. That's my boy. At 6 years old, he's worried about whose gas is getting burned. All right, so let's see. All right, okay, yeah. All right, so sold a Volvo yesterday for $3,000 cash. Paid $600 for it 2 days before. Sean, you're my kind of guy. That's what I love. Stories like that. And you know what? It's all opportunity. It's all opportunity. If you're out there hustling and beating the bushes, you're going to find that deal. You're going to find that acorn. You're going to find something shiny that somebody else wants, and you're going to be able to make it happen. You catch the right person, desperate, asleep at the wheel, and guess what? Opportunity favors the prepared mind. Remember that. That is a CarMan-ism. Opportunity favors the prepared mind. And then, and good job on that, my man. Yeah, Autobuff, need a holding light, right? Yeah, that's the other drawback. If you're gonna do more than one, I think you could get away with like one car, and if you like have a car cover on it, especially at your car lot where nobody's really paying attention because it's a car lot anyway, or you can probably get it behind your garage. You can get away with one car and one car cover, as long as it was a good car cover. And you can kind of sneak out there and do what you're doing and sell the pieces right now. All right, Windy City, what can I get for $400 right now? That's easy, my man. Just pop on Craigslist and down search 1,000 and go to work. Find the newest thing you can find for under 1,000 and then go offer them 200 and meet at 400. It's easy, my man. $400 is that's a lot of money in the car business. You can find a decent car for 400. Like my man here, he just bought a Volvo. He didn't speculate on what year and make and model, but $600. He probably bought an early 2000-ish. And he probably fixed a minor thing on it. He might have got it running right and just caught somebody asleep at the wheel. Need a holding light? Yeah. All right, dealer wanted $288 for a window regulator on a Pacifica. AutoZone wanted $80. Got one from Parts Geek for $38. You know, I got to tell you this. This is how I do. This is unrelated to selling your car parts, but it is related on the aspect. Oh, nice buy. 606. I'd have paid 600, 1,200, 900,000, depending on what it looked like. Good buy. Yeah, zoning could be a nightmare if you don't. If you went too big and you didn't. Yeah, zoning could be an issue, so you got to be kind of careful. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, it kind of works out perfect. The closer you are in the city and the zoning, you could be in some shit. So I would definitely kind of keep it at the one and keep a little cash flow in the back. All right, so Sean's over here talking about dealer wanted $288 for a window regulator. AutoZone wanted one for $80. Parts Geek wanted for $38. So let me tell you what I do for car parts. Not that it's important because I'm telling you to rip off your own cars and sell them, but that doesn't always work. You don't always have a parts car. So I have accounts with O'Reilly's. I've got them with commercial accounts with AutoZone, Napa. I've got some accounts different places. All right. And just because I got accounts doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean they won't rip me off and just make me want to like it. So I'm pretty savvy when it comes to finding stuff. So the first thing that I do, a couple of resources I use for car parts is one, we have you guys probably got the BAP-Geon. I'm sure they're a pretty big company. BAP-Geon is great for imports. They generally cut AutoZone in half on import stuff. On a lot of things, some things are comparable, some things are a little more, but they're definitely one of those resources that's worth just kind of throwing out there. Another company out there that's pretty good. He's talking about if you're going to go online, Parts Geek is awesome. I love those guys. So is 1A Auto. Those guys, those are some good boys up there. They put out a lot of videos. They do excellent work. They got good parts, good people. So I totally dig them. Who else? Oh, and then you might get some stuff like on, you might be able to search Amazon, or now Walmart's getting into the car part game. So you got Walmart and then, Amazon. You never know where Amazon's going to take you, but wherever it takes you, Rock Auto, yeah. Excellent. So there's some resources out there. So I know that I got online, but if I'm in a hurry and I can't put my hands on it, which pisses me off, but if it happens and there's nothing I can do about it, so this is my process I go through. One, I look at, okay, well, can I go pick apart and, is it probably a chance it's going to be readily available? Throw you an example. I had a car the other day, yesterday, busted mirror on the passenger side. I didn't have time for it. Like, it was just I just didn't have time to deal with it. So I didn't have time to go order one and get one in, which I could have got for about $70. So, of course, everybody else is it's just a big nightmare pain in the ass. So finally, the cheapest one I can find anywhere is roughly about $140 locally that I can go pick up. I didn't even call the dealer, but sometimes I call the dealer on, I don't ever call them very much on body parts, but I do call the dealer on some things like little strange bearings or, just different small things. The dealer's always a good call because what you'll find out there, sometimes the actual franchise dealer is cheaper than the auto parts store. I know it's weird, but hey, that's how it works. You got to be able to get them. So you got your resources as basically the franchise dealer. He's worth a shot. Then, of course, you got your local parts stores, O'Reilly's, AutoZone. Seems like to me, a lot of them seem to run kind of the same quality. I kind of feel like Napa on some of their parts is a little better than the other ones. O'Reilly's sometimes it all just depends. Like, it all just depends on who, how, and what. But there's only a couple real suppliers. So usually those companies are using one or the other, which is okay. Now, if I can't find them, the next thing I do, y'all, have you ever used carparts.com, which is a used car parts? And that's basically salvage yards out there, but they're not like pick-apart salvage yards. These are recyclers. So they're going to be pretty pricey compared to pick-apart. So anyway, so that's definitely an option. And then, of course, pick-apart, which that's exactly what I ended up doing. So I ended up buying my mirror for I think it was $28 because it was power. I came home and painted it. I already had the paint in stock, whatever. Or close enough. I didn't really care. So I got it done and flipped done and it's over. But yeah, on car parts, you got to be savvy, guys, because they will light your ass up, especially on body parts. I always try to go, pick apart for that kind of stuff. And, if I got to, I'll bump up to the next level of the recycler. I always keep in mind on the other parts stores and the internet. It's a big slew out there. If you ever catch one of my videos where I'm repairing something, I always try to put in the best deal that I found or a link to it so you can get it. Anyway, another story for another time. That's just how I do it. That's how the old car man does it. Of course, I'm a cheap bastard, so that's how it works. All right, guys. So anyway, I guess that's it for tonight. I'm out over 25 minutes again. All right, man. Peace and love. Now, listen. If there's anything you need, let me know. If you want to hit a subject, let me know. I got like a list of 50 things I want to talk about. But I try to, if you guys got something that comes up ahead of time in the SKU, I'll go ahead and hit it because why not? We can share information and life is good like that. All right, my boys. Take it easy. Good job, my man, Sean. See you later, Buff. All you guys out there killing it. I appreciate you, and thank you a lot for the support, man. And we're gonna make this show pretty big. You watch and see what I'm saying. Before long, I'm gonna have a little sign behind me that says "TheCarMan." It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be like, I know that dude. I knew that dude when he was I know that dude. So y'all are gonna be amazed. Anyway, peace out, man. Y'all take it easy.